Alright guys, quick story time. I'm going to try and make this short because whenever I do tell stories they tend to drag on, but yeah, so what I'm going to be talking about today is my experience with the Ottawa Goodtime Center, just because I've heard positive and negative things about it. Figured I'd share you guys, figured I'd share with you guys my experience with them. So the first time I ever had an encounter with them is when I first bought my GSXR 600. I took it to them to get it safetied, just because I was fairly new to the game and didn't really know anybody at the time. And hold on, these fucking white lines are slippery when it's wet. Yeah, so I took it to them to get safetied. I had like a check engine light on at the time. Had no effect on the safety of the bike, but they wouldn't safety it for me just because I had that light on. So I figured out the code myself. There's like a little trick you can do where you can jump some harness in the back. It turned out to be the secondary throttle valve actuator, which is a common problem with those bikes. So they wouldn't safety it because of that issue, and I asked them for a quote as to what it would cost to fix, because I really want to get that bike out. And they quoted me upwards of $800 just to get that fix done. So long story short, I ended up finding about a guy named Johnny. He owns this company. It's called Hybrid Racing. It used to be located in the Lees area near downtown Ottawa. He's now moved, but yeah, so I found out about him, took the bike there, see if there's anything he can do. He told me that no, that light has nothing to do with a safety on a motorcycle. So I don't know if they were trying to take advantage of me, seeing as I was a new rider. But he sent me to another shop to get the safety done, and sure enough, they were able to do the safety. A couple months down the line, I got tired of seeing that light, and I brought it back to Johnny, see if he could fix it. $100 for parts and $75 for labor. Goodtime was ready to charge me upwards of $800 to fix the issue. Next issue I ran into with them was when I actually bought this bike. This is a ZX12R. I saw it on the floor in their showroom when I was looking for a new bike, and I really liked it. You know, I like the look of it. I kind of fell in love instantly. Got a good quote for insurance for it, so I knew it was the bike I wanted to have. I took it out for a test drive, which is a good thing that I'll give Goodtime is they actually let me test drive the bike, because if I wouldn't have test drove it, I don't think I would have bought the bike. So yeah, that's something that Goodtime does do well. But I mean, it is a used bike, but I've asked for test rides on bikes at Power Sports, on bikes at Wheel Sport, you know, new, or well, not new, but used bikes. And no, they would not let me test drive any bikes. So Goodtime did get that right, and that's how they did make the sale on this bike. So I went to buy this bike, took it for a test drive, then signed an agreement saying the bike was mine as soon as I had the money for it, which I just had to go to the bank and get. I just didn't want anybody coming by and scooping it up in the meantime. And I got the money for it, came back, and they told me that there was still a lien on the bike. So I guess the previous owner traded it in, had a lien on the bike, and Goodtime didn't do their checks, so there was a lien on the bike still. Long story short, it ended up taking 6 weeks for them to figure it out. Clearly it wasn't a priority for them, otherwise they would have had it done. But I kind of have a thought in the back of my mind that they had priced it for a little too low, and once they realized that, and after I had signed the agreement, they were trying to delay to get me back out of the deal so that they could change the bike, the price on the bike, because the agreement that I had, it had the price and everything on it, and had the sales manager's signature, had my signature. So you know, I mean, who knows? For all I know, it could have been a lien on the bike still, for sure. But I kind of had that thought in the back of my head, you know, just because of the shadiness in the past and the things I've heard of them. So that was unfortunate. I had to wait 6 weeks to get the bike. And then after that, the electrical gremlins started to come out of this bike. It took me a long time to get them sorted out. Had to put what I went through 2 rectifiers, a stator. Had to redo all the wiring from the stator to the rectifier. Mind you, I didn't do this. That's all credit to Johnny at Hybrid Racing. If you want to check him out, I think his website is hybridracing.ca. I could be wrong. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, so thanks to him, he was able to figure it out. Essentially, the whole internals or the whole electronics of the bike were no good. So yeah, as soon as I brought it to him, you know, he was able to tell right away what was wrong with it. And yeah, the reason I knew is because the bike was dying. Started dying randomly, and happened more than one time, or well, more than a few times, I should say. Hence, this is why you see this lovely voltmeter on here that's reading 13.7, 13.8 volts. I had to put that on there to make sure that the bike wouldn't die on me randomly. But well, I got Johnny to put that on as well. So yeah, it was just a little sketchy. I mean, that might not be on Goodtime, you know, it's an old bike for sure. But the next thing is pretty much on them. I went to change my tire for the first time the other day. So brought the bike to Johnny to get the tire changed, and he took it off and realized that the wheel bearings were like filthy. He did his research and saw that there was a missing spacer. It's a spacer that goes between the wheel hub and the rear sprocket. I'll put a picture up here so you can see what I'm talking about, if I can find one. If not, then I'm rambling for no reason. But yeah, so that spacer was missing, so that could have been bad. You know, the bearings were pretty dirty, and if who knows, they could have failed and caused some serious damage. But yeah, so it's just funny because Goodtime was ready to charge me over $800 to fix a little light on the bike that has nothing to do with a safety. However, when they sell me this bike, they don't do the proper checks to make sure that all the parts that are there should be there. You know, because like I said, that could have been bad. So I got in contact with the sales manager, Jason, and he told me to bring the tire in so I could have them take a look at it. I explained to him what happened. You know, I said it was the first time I changed the tire since I had got the bike, and there just wasn't a spacer missing, or there wasn't a spacer there. And I sent him pictures of the wheel bearings and showed him how dirty they were. And you know, like a simple apology would have worked. Maybe a free spacer. It ended up being $22, so that's not too hard for them. But no, I didn't get any of that from Jason. It was bring me the wheel in. I have to have my techs take a look at it. Now, like, I'm sending you pictures of the wheel. What are you looking at? There's just a spacer missing. That's all it is. You know, and they're the only place in Ottawa where you can get Kawasaki OEM parts. So I had to order a spacer for them regardless. You know, it wasn't like I was trying to get a free spacer or something like that. You know, why would I want that? So yeah, it was just a little frustrating to have to deal with that. And you know, I know how it goes. I bring the bike in, it stays in the shop for, you know, a couple weeks, and you know, that part comes in and it takes them a while to put it on and all this, and I get dicked around. I mean, I know how it is, you know, so my overall experience hasn't been too positive with the Goodtime Center. Like I said, there was that one good experience where one of the sales reps, his name's Kevin, he you know, let me take the bike out for a ride, and he was very helpful, very nice guy. Not his fault at all. So yeah, overall experience from Goodtime Center. Yeah, don't think I'm going to be doing business there anymore. Got a new video coming out soon. It's going to be the walk around of the bike of the updated version of the mods I've done, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, enjoy the day.